Ready for that summer girls trip you've always wanted? Join us this July for a dreamy summer escape to Mexico's Riviera Maya and the Bahamas from beautiful Miami. 5 nights on Virgin Voyage's Resilient Lady in a sea terrace room with balcony and hammock. This cruise is adults only and designed for the perfect escape. Spend the day in the spa, lounge by the pool, or dance the night away with friends. Don't let another summer go by without an epic vacation. For more information, visit travelbuggirls.com and click the Girls Trip tab. That's travelbuggirls.com.
This conversation could save you hundreds of dollars in this day and age.
Literally.
There was a time when we could all carry all the luggage we wanted pretty much wherever we went. And it's
Yeah.
just not like that anymore. It's just really expensive now to carry luggage.
Welcome to the Travel Bug Girls podcast, the show where we dive into the world of travel, exploring everything from expert tips and insider secrets to unforgettable destinations and the latest trends. Whether you're a seasoned globetrotter or planning your very first adventure, we've got you covered with the advice and inspiration you need to make your travels truly unforgettable. So sit back, relax, and let's take your travel planning to the next level.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Travel Bug Girls podcast. It's Kimmie, and I'm here with Heather. She's France, and we're a little jealous. And we're back for this week's podcast. This week, we're going to talk about kind of packing light, which is something that's probably been helpful to you in your travels. But before we get started on that, I want to hear what you've been up to in the past week since we talked. I know you've had some adventures because I've seen them on Instagram and on our TikTok.
Yes. So the last week, I've been visiting my mother in France. She lives in eastern France in the countryside, so nowhere very touristy or special, but it is very special. That's not right. It is extremely special here and sweet and quiet and peaceful, but not somewhere most Americans would ever venture. But together a few days ago, we went on a grand adventure adventure, and we went down into the Burgundy region, which is not very far from here, and explored both Dijon and Beaune. Now, Dijon is one of my favorite places to go when I'm in France. I love to take people there and do food tours. It's a very gourmet focused city. There are Michelin star restaurants there. They make Dijon mustard there. Beef bourguignon comes from there. So it's a very, very food centric city, and a lot of fun to go into the marketplace and go shopping. So that's what we did. I was kind of showing her some of my favorite places, and then the challenge was, I asked her, take me to one of your favorite cities and I will take you to one of mine. And so I took her to Dijon and she took me to Beaune, which is funny that we both picked cities in the same region, and they were just maybe 30 minutes apart from each other, and we had the best time. In Beaune. Beaune I had never been to. It's spelled Beaune, so not how Americans are thinking of the word bone. But one of the things that's special about it is the center of Burgundy wine region. So everything wine. Every third store we saw was a wine store or a wine tasting, wine producer. So that it's just a beautiful place to visit too, very medieval. And the Hotel Dieu is the big tourist site to come visit besides the wine. And it's like the oldest hospital in the world. That's just one of the most incredible places. And they've been practicing medicine there since the Dark Ages. And it's just an incredible place to visit. It's also like the architecture is just really magnificent. The center part of town is walled, and you really are like stepping back in time to be in the middle of it. We've had so much fun. It was a good adventure. We also went thrifting, and I've been sharing a lot of these videos over on our social media. So definitely look at the Travel Bug Girls Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. I've got stuff everywhere over there, so you guys can go and follow along with our adventures. And I've got a lot more videos to come. I just haven't been able to process them all since I got back. So
sounds amazing, and the videos you've posted so far are like so cool and really interesting. I love the ones of the thrift stores. And then also, I think it was Beaune that you did, like you were standing on the street corner and kind of talked about. That was really cool. Super interesting. Yeah. So
it's been a fun adventure. I hadn't been able to visit in a while. And so it's been really fun to spend time here again. And it's just one of my favorite places in the world. I wish I could bring everybody with me. Everybody come to France with me.
It looks so beautiful. It's like the quintessential charming, what you would think of as like charming France. It really is that. Yeah.
It is charming. It's very different than being in Paris. Even the bigger cities, like Dijon is a fairly large city, but it's extremely different than the feel you have when you're in Paris. And it's just fun. And especially like if you are someone who really is fascinated by food and wine, it's just fun. It's fun to be here and be in the middle of it all. And everyone you're meeting in that world is like so excited to talk to you about it. They're very passionate. It's just a really fun thing. So I'm hoping we can put together a group trip next year, and I can bring everybody to see my favorite part of France. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yes. Absolutely. I love that. So you're staying there for almost a month, right? Is that
almost a month? Yes. I will be leaving at the end of January and headed home. And then my next trip will be warmer. It is very cold here, but my next trip will be warmer. We're headed to Thailand next.
Very cool. So that kind of transitioned into what we're going to talk about today, because we want to talk about packing light and traveling light. And I know with you being there for a month almost, that you obviously you're not going to take a month's worth of clothes. So I feel like this is very relevant to your experience right now.
Yes.
So I'm sure this has happened to you. Gotten to the airport and had to rearrange clothes and stuff out of suitcases into carry-on and try to stuff stuff because your bags are overweight, and that is so stressful when you're standing at the the check-in counter and the the agent is like watching you and you're like scrambling, trying to like, let me shove some more in, and then
Everybody in line behind you.
Everybody hits you.
It's like a spectacle.
You're like, wait, nope, I need another pound. Let me, yeah. And you just feel like everyone's like,
so stressful.
So it's definitely, or you have to pay like a ridiculous amount of money that you didn't plan to pay. So has that happened to you? Have you had to like scramble at the last minute? I definitely
all of those things have happened to me. All of those things have happened to me at least once. And also we've had a situation where we got stuck at baggage claim for like an hour coming back, trying to gather up our luggage, and then one is missing, and like, is it still in the system or is it gone? Like, so all of those things have happened to me at some point in traveling the world, and it really does incentivize you to pack lighter. Another thing that incentivizes me, that has really changed the way I travel, especially when I'm going to Europe, I feel like it's especially when you're going to Europe, is that you're going to be walking a lot. There are cobble streets, staircases, and hills. Like, it's just problematic to have a lot of luggage that you're managing. Coming into Paris, as soon as you leave the airport, it becomes difficult. You're going to have to take, the train probably. If you take an Uber or a taxi in, that's an option. But then as soon as you're in the city, you're crossing cobblestone streets and climbing staircases to get in. And our hotel was so adorable when we were in Paris a few weeks ago, but I had to carry all of my luggage up a very steep staircase just to get into the hotel. And that's pretty normal. So even if the entrance is on the ground floor, you're still going to have to usually climb several flights of stairs to your hotel rooms. It's just because of the age of the city. And they've retrofitted these old buildings into hotels, and so it's just the way it is. So it's something that you have to really think about. When I'm planning to travel now in Europe, I'm always looking to go as light as possible. One small bag. A lot of people I know like to travel with backpacks, and that's why. It's because it just makes it easier, because you're going to have to carry your luggage up and down, in and out. It makes it easier to manage.
Do you prefer a soft-sided or a hard-sided suitcase? I've traveled both. I've traveled a lot with my duffel bag, and I like it because I can just stuff stuff in there, and then I can always make it squash it and make it fit.
Yes, I'm the same.
Yeah, so that's a benefit.
But
I do have a hard-sided suitcase that's beautiful.
I guess the thing I love about something that has more structure is that you usually have wheels. We have had several that were kind of the best of both, where it was kind of soft-sided, but it had a frame with wheels so that you could kind of squish up against it and it would, give a little. But rolling it through an airport, for example, you could have that extra help.
Yeah.
Carrying things on my shoulder as I've gotten older, I'm not going to lie, it's gotten more difficult. And my husband even said to me just before I left, he saw what I was packing in, which was my trusty duffel. And it's really pretty. I say duffel, but it's like really pretty. I'm sure yours is too. And I love it. But he was like, are you serious? Like, you're going to carry your computer bag on your shoulder and your duffel? Be reasonable, Heather. You're not going to really do it. And so he went and got his travel backpack, which he has always been a travel backpack kind of guy, because he first started traveling in college, when it's super cool and hip to take your backpack and backpack across Europe and that kind of thing. And so that's how he started traveling. He's always carried a backpack, and he has one that's his favorite that has like an extra padded section for his computer and all of that. So he went and got that for me to carry as my my computer bag, my one personal item, and it's massive. I'm like, how am I getting away with this as a personal item? Because it's so big. I didn't pack it full like he would, but after being here, I've been thinking like maybe I should invest in something like that, because it would make it easier with the shoulder issues I've had the last couple of years, to have something that distributes the weight across my back and is easy to pick up and go. And there are so many great travel backpacks now. I was in a shop the other day in a French mall, and I almost spent a small fortune on one because I saw this gorgeous, I mean, their designs were so pretty. And that's the thing, is a lot of times travel backpacks are not pretty. So I was like, later I was like looking on Amazon, like, could I get the same thing for cheaper? I can get the same general structural design, but the materials they use are not nice looking. They're like army green,
Yeah.
dirt brown, black, the worst shade of gray. I'm like, how are you even finding a bad shade of gray? But like this terrible metallic gray, I don't know, gunmetal gray, that's what my mom used to call it. And so anyway, these terrible dark colors that just quite frankly don't speak to me.
Yeah.
And so it makes it hard to choose things like that. And so they're really charging a premium for something that's pretty. And that just goes against my grain. I don't want to spend money on pretty, but I'm thinking I'm going to in the end.
I've kind of gotten to the point where I'm like, you know what? If I love it, it's worth spending the little extra money on it. If I love it and I know I'm going to use it.
It's good quality and you're going to have it a long time. My mom was standing next to me when I was debating out loud, and she said, Heather, this is your business. This is like your whole world is travel. Why wouldn't you invest in this? Like, this is the thing. And I'm like, you are not helping me talk myself out of this, because she's really right. You know,
I feel like you're going to come home with that backpack.
Oh no, I had to go back to Dijon. My favorite city in the world. No. Anyway, yeah. So it is funny how choosing the right luggage, choosing the right packing strategy can really make or break your trip.
Right.
So I'm glad we're talking about this topic today, because you know, you don't have to do it my way, but it does matter. It does matter how you choose, and we've all made the wrong choice probably. If you've traveled very much, there's been a trip where you were like, I did this wrong. This is not gonna work.
Yeah.
But this may have worked for that last trip I was on, but this is not gonna work for this trip.
That's a good point, because it's definitely it's not a one size fits all. It's not a one size fits every trip. You definitely have to look at where you're going and kind of adjust to that. But I do love a good personal item bag that I can stuff a lot of stuff in.
I know. I love it too. I've always been a fan of like the big leather tote.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me feel classy. I feel like it's sturdy. It can handle some hard days, you know. But then you can also shove everything into it. The problem is, now that I'm not 20 anymore, the leather alone weighs something.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
And then you start doing like I had for all those years, cramming it full. And there just comes a point where you're carrying a lot on one joint.
Yeah.
And it's burdensome. It's really hard on our bodies. So
I'm definitely a backpack girl. I have a backpack that I like to travel with, and it's like squared off. It's got my initial. It's really cute, and it's got a padded back pocket for my laptop, and then plenty of room to shove stuff in. And then it also has a handle on the top, so I can carry it like a tote if I need to.
Yeah.
But for like traveling, I like using it as a backpack is super handy, and I've always been like a backpack girl. And then if I'm carrying on, I usually do take my duffel because I can shove it in the overhead and usually squash it into, it's like a cat, you know, cats can just duffel can just fit into little. But if I'm doing a checked bag, I do like a hard sided suitcase, and I love the wheels.
Yes, I love the wheels. I have a really lovely it's a suitcase on wheels with an extendable handle, but it's leather, and it's soft-sided leather or fake leather. Probably fake leather. Anyway, I love it because it isn't that hard case that's inflexible, and I also feel like it's lighter for that reason. But the hard side does have benefits, guys. Like, you know, there's a case to be said for them. They they can take a beating. I mean, they can get rained on and you're not worried about it. I mean, I've been carrying my duffel and it's a heavy weather day and you're just like, my clothes are going to be soaked when I get there, you know? So, I mean, that's just reality. So if you don't have something that's weather resistant, you know, on certain destinations, you're going to be facing weather. So it makes sense. And also this last trip, we arrived at Paris and they had this epic snowfall that is not normal in Paris. And I was wheeling that leather bag through like this much snow and sludge and ew,
Oh
it was
yeah.
gross. And
Yeah.
we get on the train after all, like we had to cross Paris. We get on the train and you put your luggage up above you and you sit underneath it and it's just like metal bars that it's sitting on. So there's like space, right, in between. And it was dripping this black
Oh,
sludge onto this exact sweater.
gross.
I mean, I had to wash it like 4 times before it came out. It was awful.
Ew.
And I was like, well, that was my fault. I should have thought that through before I put it right over my head like that. But anyway, you know, what luggage you take does matter because you're going to have situations like that that come up, and knowing that you've chosen the right one for your trip is going to make all the difference in the world. And for what you can handle, what can
Right.
you lift it? Can you put it up above your head? Can you take it back down? My girlfriends that love to pack everything they own to go on a trip because they say, I'll never know what I'm going to need. I love you, friends. I love you. But the problem is, are you thinking this through? You're going to have to be able to put it over your head, put it under your seat. You're going to have to manhandle it into or out of a car at some
Right.
point. You're going to have to drag it across town. And there's not always going to be someone there to pick it up for you. So please, please, friends, think that through so you don't injure yourself.
Yes, because
Or ruin your
that's not
day.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, ruin your first day of your trip because you're having to deal with your suitcase, you
Yeah.
know? So,
Well, let's talk about what goes in our suitcase.
yeah.
We love packing cubes. We've talked about this a lot.
Mhm.
I actually bought myself some packing cubes on clearance last year. I have not gotten to use them yet, and I really need to travel. But they're so handy. Do you use packing cubes? I know, like, that's super popular now, but
Yes, I do now use packing cubes. I'm not as good at it as some of the amazing videos I've seen where people are trying to convince you to buy them. But I will grab, I have a set too that I got at a really good price, and I will use at least 2 every time. I like to pack my underwear especially in a packing cube because you can identify it in the depths of your whatever, grab it right out of there, you know? So that's nice. It's also nice to put your shoes in something like that because
yes.
if you're taking multiple pairs of shoes, that way your shoes aren't touching all your clothes, and your shoes might be clean when you're packing, but that doesn't mean they're going to be clean when you pack up at the end of your trip. You know, I'm thinking of several beach vacations I've been on where my shoes have been through it by the end of the beach trip, and I don't want sand all over everything in my suitcase. So having them zipped up in a packing cube at least contains that, you know. So those are just 2 real reasons why I would do it. But I know I have a friend who packs everything in a cube. So like every day's outfit is in its own cube. And that's also a neat idea. Because then you're pulling out entire set. You could put in the underwear you need, you can put in the jewelry you want to wear. Like you could put literally everything you need for an outfit in one cube and pack them that way. I think that's a really neat idea also.
Yeah, I like that. I feel like there's like that kind of way. And then I read this like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 kind of guideline, which I thought was really interesting. So
Tell me.
It's 5 sets of socks and underwear, 4 tops, 3 bottoms, 2 to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2 pairs of shoes, and then 1 like accessory type deal.
Oh yeah.
So I thought that's a really good and then so if you did that, you'd probably do all the underwear in 1, tops in 1, bottoms in 1, and then you're trading out. Which I think is really handy especially if you're like needing to pack in only a carry-on or something. I think that would be a good. Now you're going to have to like maybe wash some clothes in the sink or something like that.
Depending on how long you're staying, yeah.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
But that kind of gives you enough to like trade out and you can change up outfits and stuff with jewelry and shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you're on vacation, you're not usually going to the same place twice anyway. So nobody's really looking at
No
your
one's gonna
clothes,
know.
judging
Yeah,
you.
unless you're trying to be an Instagram influencer, and even then, does anybody really pay attention? I don't know. Like, we would just assume you did all those videos on the same day. Come on.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, I agree. I'm not super particular about that. There's some things that are in my favor for packing light is that I'm not super worried about being judged by what I'm wearing. I'm packing my favorite clothes. So I'm wearing clothes I enjoy already, right? But I'm not going to be worried about the people around me, like whether they're worried about me wearing that same shirt twice in a week or something. I want to be clean, but I also am not afraid to wash clothes when I'm traveling. And that is something that does stress other people out. When we go cruising, we now have the laundry benefit on Virgin. So that is something that I've earned by being loyal to Virgin Voyages. So even on a cruise, when you have to have maybe multiple changes of outfits a day for the different activities you're doing, I can do laundry halfway through the cruise and I have all new clean clothes. So I'm not worried about that. And on this trip, I'm extra benefited because I'm staying at our home. So we have laundry here for free. So that's really nice. But when we're going to Thailand, it was one of the things I looked at was, will we have laundry service available at the hotel or the resort that we're staying at so that we can do laundry at some point? Because I'm expecting to sweat through my clothes when I'm in Thailand. So I want to make sure that I'll be able to do laundry if I need to. So these are kinds of things that you can look into before you go. Make sure if you're worried about it and you're wanting to pack light, ask, look into it. Do you have access to laundry services at your hotel? If you chose a different hotel that did have those, would you be paying that much more? Because sometimes it's a perk that's not that they're not necessarily charging more for a hotel that has laundry that doesn't. It could just be that they have it available. And so things to look at. I think every cruise line has an option for laundry too. So sometimes it's worth it to pay whatever the price is to have a bag of laundry done if you don't have the loyalty perk for it. So these are the options that you do have and you can plan for if you want to pack light.
Yeah, good point. So do you fold your clothes or do you roll them up?
I tend to roll mine.
Yeah.
Not always though. I've noticed that I roll them more when I'm worried about space or worried about the outfit staying together.
Yeah.
So like for our daughter's wedding, I wasn't worried about space. We had plenty of space, but I was worried about making sure that I had the outfit specifically that I wanted to wear for that week because it was kind of a really intense week. And so I rolled my clothes together to make sure they were matched up and I didn't leave anything behind. So that's another.
Well, it's my understanding that rolling actually takes up less space. So I don't know. In my mind, it still doesn't quite compute. But
I know. I'm like, clothes take up the space they take up. So I don't understand that. But that is not my gifting. Spatial awareness is definitely not something I'm gifted at. So sure. Someone's probably done the math.
Another thing that is, I think, a big deal when traveling, especially when flying. And I know people that, like, I have friends that will just grab their shampoo and conditioner bottle out of their shower and, like, take the whole giant thing. Maybe not when flying, but when, if they're traveling by car or whatever, not flying. And that is crazy to me.
Okay, let me tell you how much I am not that girl. I am more likely to not take any toiletries and be like, they'll have it when I'm there. I have been burned doing that. I have been burned doing that. They don't have it there. But I am much more likely to just be like, I got my toothbrush, I'm good, and not take anything else. So yeah, I'm not that girl.
I do that too. And I'm like, they always have shampoo in the hotel,
Yeah.
But I have learned, I do now at least take a little travel thing of my shampoo and sometimes conditioner and then whatever. Because if you have curly hair,
Yes.
which we both do,
Yes.
and you end up with the wrong shampoo and conditioner, it can
Yes.
really do you wrong.
It's a nightmare. I really regret. I do have a regret for this trip. I had just found this product I love. This is so off topic, but I just found this product I love. That is a leave-in conditioner cream, and I feel like my hair was like a whole new hair, like a whole new person after I found it, and I love it so much. But it's in this big tub like this, and it's like this tall too. And I was like, how am I gonna pack that? Because I'm only taking care on it. And I have no idea if that's gonna be like, nope, ma'am, and I will absolutely lose it if they throw it away. So I cannot risk that. So I just decided not to bring it. Instant regret. Like day 2, I was like, my hair is not going to be okay on this trip. And it's that curly hair problem. Yeah. And so it's also winter and everything's weird, like wet, dry at the same time. It's been a weird trip for my hair. And so I definitely think I will go home and invest in a little bitty travel tub that I can fill with my favorite conditioning cream.
Yeah.
So I think that is something that in the past I have not been good at caring about. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
But I'm learning. I also didn't used to travel as much as I do now. And I want this to be a part of my life that continues. I want to travel more, not less. And so I think it's time that I'm having to make different choices. Like my mom said, it's time for me to invest in this part of my life. And so the products I'm buying matter more. And having the right things with me, especially if I'm going to be going to multiple countries where you don't know what you're going to have access to. In the past, I often was traveling again and again to the same places. So you become familiar, with what you have. And that's just not been the case the last 2 years. So and that's what a nice problem to have. What a nice problem to have. But yeah, I think it does matter.
Yeah. Have you tried solid shampoo or solid conditioner
yet? Years ago.
That's I feel like they've really come a long way with that, and that's like a new thing, especially for flying. Like you can now. I would probably try to use it ahead of time and make sure it works for you for mate like curly hair.
Test out a few, definitely.
Yeah, but I feel like those have come a long way.
They're great because you can store it basically in a soap dish, right? Those plastic containers to store your bar soap, and they're so good because you don't have to worry about, the flight requirements, any of that TSA. So you don't have to be concerned about that. It goes with you everywhere. You can wrap it up in a cloth and it'll dry, and you can move it, I don't know. I just feel like it's transportable. It's just easier to work with. And some of those products are really fabulous. I don't have a particular one that I could shout out, but I have used several, both the conditioning bars and the shampoo bars, and I like them. So I think that's a great option for you if you are like, I can't handle one more liquid thing, especially if you've been the person who's had something explode in your bag.
or had TSA throw something away.
Yeah, that was when I did it. Was when we first were moving to France. This was back in 2016. That year, flying back and forth to Europe a couple of times in a row. And TSA was like such a problem then. I had several things get thrown away and I just couldn't. I was like, I can't do this. I get too upset about it. And so I switched. And also they're made without sulfates. That was a brand new thing back then. Like the whole idea of trying to find a shampoo that doesn't have all the additives. Now there's a lot more products that you can buy. That's not as much a problem, I feel like. But at the time I was having a hard time finding something, and that's a great product you can use and carry with you around the world. So a good option, and they last a long time.
Yeah, they really do.
Actually, I don't think I've ever gotten to the end of one. I think I've always just had to throw it away eventually for some other reason. So yeah,
they're good. Also, you probably don't need to take every part of like your skincare routine or every, like kind of pare down to what you really need. If you have like 12 bottles of stuff that you use, maybe you could,
The
pare
other
it
thing is,
down.
I'm shocked at how many products now have travel-sized versions that you can find. Like really great brands now have very small versions of their products. So you can probably find, if you think about it in advance, you can probably find one. And one of the hot tips I would recommend everyone consider, if you're going to travel more than once or twice a year, especially, this is a great tip. And that is to have your travel bag ready and keep it ready. So when it comes to your toiletries, have a travel version ready to go. Also, how fun is that to be like, I'm ready to go? Like, have my passport, have my toiletry bag, I'm ready to go. If I get a travel backpack, 100%, I'm just gonna have it like half packed, ready to go all the time, because that is one thing I've learned about these quick turnarounds is it's too stressful to try to go home and unpack everything or repack. If anybody saw my video about the absolute chaos of me not unpacking for the last 3 trips, and then trying to get ready to go to France, that was such a nightmare. So lesson learned. Having something that's kind of like always ready to go and all you
Yeah.
have to do is put in your clothes. What a game changer. I mean, just absolute time saver. And then you have what you need.
Yeah.
When you're on your trip and your little travel toothpaste runs out, you're like, I need to replace my toothpaste. That's all you have to do. Everything else is ready to go. So that is also, like I said, you can be really specific and have all your favorite products. Just find them in travel size and have them ready in a travel bag.
Yeah,
At a
that's what I
moment's
do.
notice. Yeah.
I have a toiletry bag that I just keep my travel
Yeah.
stuff in, and that's only what I use it for.
Yeah.
So like you said, when it's time travel, I just check, make sure there's nothing I need to replace, and then boop, ready to go.
Exactly.
So I love
Exactly.
that. Do you ever sink wash your clothes? Have you done that while you traveled?
Oh my gosh, I just watched my mom. I watched my mom do it the other day. We have a whole. I'm gonna have to do a whole story on what happened on our trip, but we ended up staying an extra day we weren't planning for. So we had taken like a day's worth of extra clothes, and then we stayed an extra day, and we both were like, "What are we gonna do?" And so I watched her wash her underwear in the hotel sink. And I was like, I would not have done that the way you did. So she washed it in the sink with the shower gel, and
Okay.
then she hung it over the radiator, which is what they use for heat here
Mhm.
mostly. She hung it over the radiator, and she's like, it'll be dry in the morning. And I was like, are you sure? Because sometimes things don't dry very well that way. And she's like, well, if it's not, I have had to do it before where I pull out the hair dryer. And so every hotel we stayed in had a hair dryer, and she's like, you just hang your clothes up and you blow dry them dry.
Okay.
And
Well,
then they're warm and dry to put on in the morning. Like, okay, well, all right then. And she had on clean underwear in the morning. And so I was like, I need to remember that trick. I would not have thought to do that. So anyway.
I feel like you could probably, it might be good to, they have those little travel packs of like laundry soap and stuff
They
now.
do now. They have so many neat products now.
So, and I think,
Definitely.
if I'm not just making this up, I think they even have like non-liquid laundry, like where it's like a little
Like a
sheet.
wipe?
It's almost like a little sheet of
Yes.
laundry soap, and you can, so that would be great if you're going somewhere where you're like, I don't know that I'm gonna have access to laundry facilities.
You can definitely order those if you can't find them in your laundry sheets, is what they're called. Yes.
Okay.
And you can definitely
So I
order
did
those.
not
And
make
what a
that up.
great, and you can just put that in a Ziploc bag. As from our podcast episode where Cassie's like, we gotta have all the Ziploc bags.
We love Ziploc bags.
Put your laundry sheets in your Ziploc bag, in your travel bag, and you're ready to go. Yeah. Because it's so nice because you can just tear off then the amount you think you would need. If you're like washing 2 items, you don't need the whole sheet. And so, because the sheet is made for the whole load. So what a great way to store that. And it's not liquid or powder that could spill all in your bag. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like that. What about, how do you handle like your technology stuff? Like for me, I have a charger that I keep in my
I carry a bag.
Yeah.
I have a travel bag. And I the first one I had was a 31 bag. It was just like a big zipper bag like this.
Mhm.
It was maybe even a little bigger. And I just keep all my cords and chargers and an extra set of headphones in that. And I keep that ready to go. I throw it in my work bag. I mean, I take that with me all the time, not just like when I'm traveling long distance, but like if I'm going to go to the coffee shop to work for the day instead of at home,
Mhm.
then I already have all my electronics in that bag. So the only thing that wouldn't be in there is anything that's plugged into the wall at the time. Like my computer is plugged my computer charger into the
Right.
wall. But then I have a bag to put it in, and it's all in one place.
Mhm.
And so now that I'm at my mother's house, and there's, I'm in her library right now is where I'm sitting, and everyone else has chargers in here too. Well, I don't have to worry about getting mine confused because mine's in my bag and everyone else's is like all around the room. And so I know what's mine and I put it back in the bag and then it's good. And then when it's time to go, I just grab that bag and I can run. So
Yeah.
that is how I have survived having to be mobile with my computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
need to
actually
get a light kit that would fit into it. Do you think they have them that are that small? I'm sure they do.
Mhm.
I'm not super tech savvy.
I had one that was like a light ring like this big, and it literally just
Yeah,
clips on around
onto
my
your phone
camera
or your computer.
on my laptop or my phone. Mhm.
Nice.
And it's
That's what I need. And then it can go in my bag and go with me.
Mhm. It was
Yeah,
like $5 and rechargeable. Yeah, very handy.
that would be helpful.
I have a set of a plug and the cord and everything that I just keep
Yes.
in my luggage, kind of like my travel toiletries, and it's
Yes.
just ready to
Yeah.
go. And then I also I'm a fan girl, like I have to have a fan. So I bought like a little USB travel fan
Oh,
that stays with
nice.
my
Yeah.
luggage, so I know it's always there. So yeah,
That's a good idea.
I think it's just the
Definitely.
easiest.
It's easy to keep a tech bag ready to go. And once you've traveled overseas, here's the other side of that too, is once you've gone somewhere where you needed something specific that you don't use in your normal life, it's easy to lose it. And then you don't, let's say you go to Europe for the first time and you have to buy a converter and, maybe you're buying an extra SIM card or something, like you're buying those extra things that you're not going to use in your normal life at home. When you get home, how likely is it you're going to lose that? Like put it away, you're going to put it away somewhere, but where does it even go, right? And so having a bag that's your travel tech bag assures that it's in a place where you can easily find it. So then 2 years later, when you go back to Europe and you weren't planning to, so you didn't know you needed it 2 years later, at the time, you already know where it is. You have it and you're ready to go. So that's great. And I know there are cruise ships that still have to use converters and other things. So like having something like a place for that to live is so helpful. I have also a storage tub that sits on a particular shelf in my office that has extra gear that we've accumulated over the years of traveling. And so I have a place that's in my office where it lives all the time besides my little bag. So if I'm ever like, wait, where's my charger? Where's my thing? I have a place to go to where I keep all of that gear. So making sure you have a place where everything is stored is going to keep you from struggling the week before you're traveling, going, wait, I know I have one. I just don't know where it is. And then you're worried, can I get one in time before my trip if I can't find it? So having a set place for things really makes big.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, I think this has been a really good episode. Hopefully people have gotten some good tips. Are there any other tips that you have before we sort of wrap up?
I think when it comes to traveling light, being willing to not, I mean, a lot of it's mindset. A lot of it is just telling yourself, I will be okay. I don't have to have everything with me. I will be okay. Packing the clothes that you know you need. And that's where like packing them a set keeps you from overpacking. Do you really need 3 extra shirts? Do you really need 2 extra dresses? Like pack what you know you need, trust yourself, and then also know that when you get there, if there's something you forgot, you could get it. Like those people buy clothes too. They have to have toiletries too. Like wherever you're going, there is probably going to be an option. There are some exceptions, of course. There are places that are really hard to get. I'm a big girl. There are places in the world where they don't have clothes for big girls. So I want to pack what I need. Okay. But generally speaking, a lot of the problem with overpacking is a mental game. It's about being sure that you have what you need and not letting yourself overpack because you're afraid you're not going to have what you need. So that is the biggest issue. Of course, we all have friends who like to have a lot. They wear a lot. They wear a lot of jewelry. They wear a lot of makeup. They wear a lot of clothes. They wear 3 layers because they want to look so cute. And we all think they're adorable. That's different. If that is who you are and you don't know how to pare that down, then that's a different challenge. But for most of us, we don't need to take everything we own. So stay calm, pack wisely, use the right kind of bag and the right system, and you're going to have a much better trip because you're not going to be stressed about carrying too much luggage and having to haul everything everywhere all the time. You'll have what you need and have a great time.
Yeah, that's a great point. So I saw this little challenge, like if somebody has not ever traveled, maybe with just a carry-on, to go to like actually pack your bag or your carry-on bag or your backpack or whatever as if you were going on like a weekend trip. So pack everything, and then like at home use your bag as if you're like staying in a hotel or whatever, and like give yourself kind of a trial run.
That's a great idea.
I think so too. I was like, that's actually really smart. It's kind of a test run because it does, if you've never done it before, it's like living out of a backpack for 3 days or 4 days or whatever. It's like, ooh, that sounds scary. But it's a good, like, I think that would be a good way to like test
I
run.
think it would be a great way to test it, like the month before your trip, see if the clothes that you have, and then PS when you're done, wash those clothes and put them in your backpack. You're done.
Then you're packed. Yeah. And or if there's like, oh, I really needed this, then and you could throw it in there.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I think that's a great idea for someone who's really maybe stressed about it. And and the other thing that we should mention before we close out is this conversation could save you hundreds of dollars in this day and age.
Literally.
There was a time when we could all carry all the luggage we wanted pretty much wherever we went. And it's just not like that anymore. It's really expensive now to carry luggage. I don't know why it's become that way other than, well, I do know why. That's a whole different conversation. But the thing is this is the reality we live with right now, is luggage costs are expensive. And so making sure that, if you're traveling on a budget, like that extra $200 could go a long way to something else on your trip.
Yeah.
So if you don't feel the need to have a ton of clothes, and you do have access to laundry, especially on a trip, then that is worth figuring this out and practicing, and just carrying less is going to make your trip so much more affordable this day and age. So even with laundry expenses added in, it's going to be nothing. You're not going to spend $50 on doing laundry, right? And so this, the lowest price you're going to spend checking a bag is going to be $50.
Yeah.
So
probably more.
Probably more. A lot of times I'm seeing now like $75, $85 to check a bag.
That's such a good point. It really, in the end, learning how to pack smaller is really going to save you money.
There's a lot of good reasons to go this route. And so if it's a challenge that you're up for on your next trip, we'd love to hear all about it. Tell us how it went for you, and what if you have packing tips to make it easier to pack light.
I'm always up for other people's packing tips. Share your packing tips with us.
Definitely.
So, thank you so much for joining me again from France.
I've got one more week. I go home next week. So,
I can't wait to just see all of your videos and pictures and stuff, and I'm sure we'll be sharing more of that even after you come back home too.
Definitely so much to share.
Yes. Well, thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and thank you all for listening. And again, share your favorite packing tips with us. We would love to hear it. Have a wonderful day.
Bye, friends.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the Travel Bug Girls podcast. Be sure to subscribe to get our new episodes every week. We'd love to connect with you on social media. Share your answer to this week's podcast question with us at facebook.com/travelbuggirls. You can find us on your favorite social media by using @travelbuggirls. Want to join our VIP group? You'll find us on Facebook groups under TBG Travel Bugs. Learn more about the Travel Bug Girls and what we do on our website at travelbuggirls.com. Until next time, keep exploring, keep dreaming, and safe travels.
This May, journey through spectacular mountain scenery and picturesque cities as you experience 3 alpine countries with our very own Travel Bug Girls guide Kara and local experts. This enchanting 10-day journey across Switzerland, Austria, and Bavaria will leave you breathless with wonder and eager to return. To learn more, visit our website at travelbuggirls.com/Europe. That's travelbuggirls.com/Europe.